let me tell you, it is disgusting outside right now. The weatherman should be ashamed of himself. It's just terrible. Yesterday we had like crazy winds, and yeah, it's like -3, but -30 with a wind chill. It's just awful. But it's what we get to deal with. So I'm just gonna mix up some feed and head out and feed all the critters. The chickens in this wind, there's no way the chickens are coming out. So I'm a kind soul, so I'll feed them inside the chicken coop today. So yesterday I jokingly referred that the worst possible thing had happened, being that the pigs had gotten out. This morning I went over to feed the pigs and I noticed from afar that one of the sheep was limping. And so I'm like, well, that's kind of bizarre. And when I got up there, you can see she's got an open fracture, broken leg, and I highly doubt there's gonna be a fix for that, which is very sad. So right now I have to do, yeah, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to put her down, unfortunately. So we just talked about this the other day, about when's the right time to involve your kids in things like this. Today is definitely not the day. This is not planned or you know, anything you can prepare for. Unfortunately, because I don't know when the break occurred, it was obviously, you know, sometime between last night and this morning. I can't say with any certainty, you know, is the meat stressed or is the meat not stressed? So we will go ahead and harvest the carcass, but it's going to be for dog food, unfortunately, because yeah, we can't say it's not going to be bad because of the stress. So very unfortunate. And even though it is very unfortunate, it is the last thing I wanted to have happen. I will be certain to make sure that as much as possible, there'll be no waste of the carcass. We want to make sure we use everything as much as we possibly can. So unfortunately, when I had to put that poor girl down earlier, to add insult to injury, or injury to injury, no pun intended, because it's not funny. The shell casing was actually ejected and landed down my glove and burnt my hand. So just adds to the pain, I guess. So today might have been a tough day for the sheep, but it's going to be nothing by comparison to what it's going to be for the chickens when Carmen realizes they're digging in her raised beds here. This is a project we started last summer, building this, and I'm thinking for next year when we actually plant in here, because this is supposed to be our kitchen garden, I'm thinking we're going to have to put a fence up and maybe trim some feathers.
Did you just throw our supper on the floor?
I tell you, I do feel really bad earlier having to put that one ewe down. Unfortunately, that was, you know, the best possible outcome that could happen there, rather than leave her to suffer. You know, sheep are very unpredictable in some cases. I mean, and anybody that's kept sheep for any length of time will know they'll die because it's Wednesday, and well, it's Wednesday anyways. So very unfortunate circumstance. You know, it's not an easy decision. It's not one that we take lightly at all. You know, anybody that knows, all these sheep have names, right? They all have their little personalities and characteristics. This one was called Hazel. She was an absolute gem, and it turns out H is an unlucky tag number to get around here. The last one we had with the tag number H was Helga. And unfortunately, she was mauled to death by a miniature horse. So I'll be hesitant, I think, to use the H tag next year, because yeah, that's not good. Anyways, yeah, it's not easy to come back to the book and look, you know, okay, April 17th at 5 a.m. I was up with her mom, Agatha, and that's when she was born. She was good to go. You know, the whole history on you know, from lambing right through to today is in the book. And I got to come back to the book and draw a line under it, right? And it's really sad. It's really is sad. As if today couldn't get any worse. Today's just been one of those, like, just kind of days. So the guy over at the Emerson Trail Building Supplies, Bevan, he phones me this evening and he says, I've got good news and I've got bad news. And well, today's been a bad news kind of day, so let's start with that. And I think that kind of caught him off guard, because his good news that he wanted to share was that the tin for the greenhouse had arrived. You know, we ordered it a couple weeks ago. It's here. The bad news is that with the 70-mile-an-hour wind that we've been having, picked that tin off of a trailer and threw it up against the trees and wrapped it around a tree. So it's all multiple different directions and obviously is not usable at all. He said you could try and use it for something, but more than likely it's not going to work for what you want to do. So anyways, you could get mad, you could get upset, you could be frustrated, you could be sad. All these things that occurred today are outside of our control. And you know, we really can't control what occurs to us, but we can control how we react to certain things. So that's going to be my mantra for today. You know, growing up in England, how we dealt with our problems is the, you know, the old-fashioned British way was we would simply have a cup of tea and wait it out, because we've got a lot of tea to drink. And generally, by the time we get done drinking tea, the problem's not so much of a problem anymore. So I'm probably going to have 2 or 3 cups of tea tonight just to outweigh the day. But yeah, let me know in the comments section down below, what do you do when you have a bad day on the farm, bad day on the homestead? What's your trick? What helps keep you above water? Let me know.